Relaxing moment turned into frustration. My goodness, okay. Honestly, the sweet spot for productivity and immersion. This might be the best monitor for Mac users and casual gamers. So why did I just drop over $1,000 on a new monitor? Because working with the M4 Max Studio with a 2K Cine display was killing my workflow and my entertainment. But here's how I fixed that and why this might be the best monitor for Mac users and casual gamers. So I spent weeks searching for something that could handle my editing, my workflow, and some casual gaming at that. Most of what I found though was either overpriced or it didn't check every box. Until I found the Dell UltraSharp U4025QW. I know it's a mouthful, but in retail, it's normally $1,600 or more, but I ended up getting it for $1,250. And so I had to hop on this deal. It is here, ladies and gentlemen. After waiting for about a week and a half, it has finally arrived. There she is. Let's open her up. Power cord here, and we're gonna turn her on. Moment of truth, let's see. Nice, so let's freaking go. My goodness, okay. So after upgrading to the M4 Max Studio, I was still using my old 27-inch 2K Mac monitor. It technically worked, but the resolution just wasn't cutting it anymore. Editing 4K footage on that thing felt like a chore. Plus, the pixels were cutting the details, and I was constantly zooming in and shifting timelines just to see what I was working on. And then when it came to gaming, I'd switched to an older TV in the living room, which honestly made things worse. The input delay was so brutal that what was supposed to be a relaxing moment turned into frustration. So I finally thought, why not get one monitor that handles both worlds? Something that can match the power of my Mac and still give me the smooth, immersive experience I want after hours. And that's where the Dell U4025QW comes into play. So let's talk about some of the features here. The first thing up is the 5K 2K resolution. Way more space than your standard 4K monitor. I can have Final Cut open, my browsers, and the tools side by side, so there's no weird scaling issues or dual monitors needed. One thing I found that I did need though was the Better Display app for the Mac, which simply allows me to scale the resolution appropriately and be able to adjust the brightness using my Apple keyboard, which was a game changer and time saver. Number 2 on the list is 120 Hertz frame rate. 120 Hertz doesn't just help with gaming, it makes everything feel smoother. From scrolling through websites, switching apps, to editing timelines, it's all just faster and easier on the eyes. Even small things like dragging the windows around feels a lot more fluid. It's one of those upgrades you don't think you need until you go back to 60 Hertz and wonder how you've been operating in these circumstances. Number 3 on the list is going to be the color accuracy. This part caught me off guard at first because Dell's standard color mode looks very vibrant. It pops with contrast and saturation, but it's not accurate though. If you're editing anything color critical, you'll want to switch your Mac to display P3 and set the monitor to its RGB preset. At first, it looks a little dull, but that's because it's accurate. It matches Apple's gamma, white balance, and color specs. So what you see here is what you're going to see on the iPhones, the iPads, and the Macs, all your social medias as well. Number 4 is the port flexibility. The U4025QW has a full hub built in, USB-C, USB-A, HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort, Ethernet, and here's how I personally use them. I run a single Thunderbolt 4 cable from the monitor to my Mac Studio using the 140 watt port. That handles the power and the display, allowing it to be super clean, no clutter, and then all of my SSDs and accessories are still plugged in directly to the Mac so that the ports on the monitor are free to use. The only thing I do run from the monitor is the HDMI 2.1 input, which I run to my gaming console. That way I can game and work off the same display without having to unplug anything. Number 5 is going to be the 40 inches of curvature. The 40-inch curved screen is honestly the sweet spot for productivity and immersion. It's not an aggressive curve like most gaming monitors, it's subtle, just enough to wrap into your peripheral vision and reduce how far your eyes need to travel. For creative work, it helps to stay centered in on your editing timeline or photo canvas. Everything feels within reach, especially when you're dealing with the ultra-wide timelines in Final Cut or multiple side-by-side windows. And for gaming or watching content, it draws you in without feeling distorted or exaggerated like some ultra curved panels do. It's immersive but still accurate. And number 6 is the eye comfort tech. Apparently, I didn't know this. This monitor automatically adjusts brightness depending on your room. It also reduces blue light, but without that weird yellowish tint like you get on your phone. So if you're working late, your eyes won't feel cooked by the end of the night. Now, even though I bought this monitor mainly for creative work and editing, I still wanted something that could hold its own when I was gaming after hours. So let's talk about how this thing can perform when it's not just pushing timelines, but pushing pixels in real time. Now, I'm not a competitive gamer, but when I do play, I want it to feel smooth. The 120 hertz refresh rate and low input delays on this monitor completely changed the experience for me. No more lagginess or frustrating gameplay like I had in the old living room TV. And I don't have a huge library of games, but the ones I do play, I want to be locked in. And nothing kills that faster than input lag or screen delay. This monitor just delivers all across the board. It's not built to be an esports panel, but for the casual plays and the cinematic titles, it feels fast, clean, and super immersive. So what are my final thoughts? If you are using a Mac, especially something like the M4 Studio, and you also like to unwind a bit with some gaming, then this monitor really does hit that sweet spot. You're getting a color accurate 5K panel, Thunderbolt 4, a massive curved screen, and 120 hertz performance all in one setup. Yeah, it's a bit pricey, but if you can find a refurbished one like I did, it honestly feels like a steal. This thing has made both work and play way more smoother in my day-to-day base. And team, I would love to know in the comment section down below, whether it's for work or for play, what's a tech purchase that you'd recommend to anyone right now? I'd love to hear your responses. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. Hit the thumbs up, hit that sub, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.